Nobody does it better. Nobody does it better.
What's the deal, y'all? We back with another episode of Empower Athletes. I'm here with my guy Chig.
How y'all doing?
And over the weekend, we was watching NFL football together, and we couldn't help but just debate and go back and forth about every single thing that was going on. We couldn't even wait to this podcast to start, and we over here giving up our arguments and stuff. We chill, we gonna save it for this, but we finally here, and we're gonna first start off with the Browns game. The controversial diving into the end zone. What do you think about that? If you was a head coach, how you treating that situation?
Yeah, so okay, me personally, right? I'm a strong believer, and I got to let my players play, right? I can't. Yes, there's rules of football. They gotta know what to do, but at the end of the day, their God-given abilities what got them here. As a head coach, right? I might not be as athletic as these players, so if they do some stuff, it's certain things I can't be mad at, right? My player, he's trying to make a play in that situation. It was right before half. The Browns had 3 points, I believe, and the Chiefs had about 16. So my team has went 2 quarters right now without scoring a touchdown. So my player is simply just trying to get in the end zone. So if I'm a coach, I'm not mad at him, because if he scored, I would have been the most turned up person in the stadium. So I'm not mad at it.
If he would have scored, I would have been the most turned up dude in the stadium as well. But if I'm the head coach and you make that decision, I just want you to be right. Because it's first down, it's second down. We got other downs left to get 1 yard. Now, if you make that, I ain't gonna say don't. Like you said, I don't want my players to be a robot. I want them to be a baller and make plays. But I also want you to be smart and use your head. Like, that's what I'm gonna be running my program on. Like, if you know we got another down left and we got time left, well, don't just do that and we lose the ball. That was a 10-point swing. They didn't get a touchdown. The Chiefs got the ball back. They went down, kicked the field goal, got 3 points. That's a 10-point swing. They could have got 7. They didn't. Chiefs went down and got 3. That's a 10-point swing. They only lost by 5 points. So you could argue that if that didn't happen, if they got some points, even 3, the game would have been a lot closer, and if they would have scored, you could argue that they would have won. I mean, that's not the only reason they lost in the game. Of course, there's a lot of more reasons, but as a coach, if you gonna make that decision, you gotta be right. I'm on your head, I'm on your neck if you turn the ball over, period.
Okay, so to combat that, right, I'm gonna say this. We both play DB.
Yeah.
So, because you're taking a very safe approach to this, right? Well, you could say, by saying your player must know he's going to score if he's going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm saying make it if you're going to do it, make it happen. Like,
and that's okay. So this is what I'm about to say. We both play DB.
Yeah.
Balls in the air. It's first down.
Okay.
We all know there's a lot of risky things going into football.
Yeah.
If I go up and try and get the ball and I get the moss and my guy scores, am I mad at that DB because he tried to make a play? It was a risk reward.
Yeah. No, I disagree with that, because in this instance, when it's the goal line and you about to put the ball over, you know the risk of being a touchback. You could be on the 1 and dive in. If the ball goes into the end zone for a touchback, it's a touchback. Yeah. So, like, the defense didn't really do too much to cause that turnover to happen. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so are you saying that the player should not have reached?
If he didn't score,
should he have reached, yes or no?
If it's fourth down, reach, because it's fourth down.
Okay.
If there's 1 second left, reach, because there's 1 second left before half. If it's 1 second left before the game, reach. If it's clear that you about to do it and score, but if we got more downs left, be safe so we could get the next play to run it in.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, because that reaching play, it's never a guaranteed touchdown. Anybody does it. It's always a 50-50 chance.
It is a 50-50
So, okay,
chance.
when the Rams had to play, when they went in Wildcat, Rams had to play, they went in Wildcat, the running back did the same thing and reached, and he scored.
He scored.
But it's a 50-50 chance. So, and it was first down, though. So are you saying because it was not fourth down, he should not have reached because of the possibility?
I'm saying since he scored, he should have did that. Good job. You
But
did it.
it's a super tough argument to make because you're saying because something good happened, I'm happy you did that. But if something bad happened, you should not have done that.
If we have more downs,
it's always a risk reward.
It is a risk reward, and that's what I mean. The risk is me being on your ass if you don't score.
And I get that, but I think my stance is where I'm coming from is I cannot be mad at my player for trying to make a play because I pay him millions of dollars to play in the professional football league because I think that's a play he's probably made before in his life.
Okay. Well, I'm proud of him for getting us there or making the play to get there. All I'm saying is just be right. Just like when, our coaches tell us if you're supposed to defeat a block outside, but you go inside on the block. If you're going to do that, you need to be right. And you agree with that because you got to hold your leverage.
I agree.
If you don't, if you go and make a play, I don't want you to be a robot. If you see the space and opportunity, make the play. But if you don't and it's iffy, then get back to your leverage and be where you're supposed to be.
Okay, let's move on for time's sake arguments.
For time's sake, we're going to move on. So also, on that same play, it should have been a targeting call.
Yes, it should have. Terrible missed call by the refs. Yeah.
What do you think about that rule? Like, obviously, it should have never even got to the point of them going down to make a field goal. Mm-hmm. But, they always constantly saying head-to-head contact. I'm a defender. You a DB. Yeah. I don't want them calling targeting calls because that's going to affect me most of the time.
Exactly.
Like, they hardly ever call targeting for an offensive player. Yeah. But in that instance, when a big play like that happened, like that's a whole turnover. Yeah. They should have reviewed that and got that right. You think I don't care who won that game, so I don't care. But what do you think?
No, I think that type of play, especially with targeting and how they like to emphasize targeting in today's game, it's like they need to be able to review that and throw a flag on it after the fact because it changed the game. So because that player could have possibly got thrown out, the Browns would have kept the ball, could have possibly scored. So it changed the whole entire game. That it was a missed call.
And then what's even colder is like. The NFL probably gonna still fine the dude for doing that hit.
Exactly.
But if you think about it, if you're an organization, if you the Chiefs, you rather him get fined and get that call and go down there to get 3 points because that's a 10-point swing, like I said.
Exactly.
Because so that fine really ain't nothing in the grand scheme of things because you got the ball and you was able to put up some points.
Exactly.
So that's real crazy. Do you think the touchback rule is kind of extreme?
Nah, I don't because, you fumbled through the end zone. Mm-hmm. So, it's just I don't see how there's any type of possibility for that offense to keep the ball.
Okay. I think it maybe is extreme, but because that's the rules, you got to know the rules and what comes with it, the risk reward, like you talked about. You got to understand the call, the penalty that's at hand and how it affects you. Yeah. If I was to change it, I will say maybe the offense keep the possession, maybe lose 15 yards from where they was, try it again. You get what I'm saying? Because, the defense ain't really earned that. Technically they do because they hit and so. Well, in that case, okay, I see the argument. Yeah. So moving forward, this is where we had most of our more passionate arguments was this Sunday watching. Going into the 2-minute drill, Tyreek Hill dropped a crossing route from Pat Mahomes, and then also in the Saints game, Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara had a miscommunication. And Drew Brees threw a pick. We don't know whose fault it is. Mm-hmm. And basically the question of equity came up. And as a head coach, how are you talking to these players? How are you feeling? What's your energy towards these players who've done a lot for your team and has a lot of equity?
Yeah, so let's address the Tyreek Hill drop. As a coach, I'm not saying a word to him. Like, you got to realize Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. Like, he did drop a crossing route. He should have caught that ball. Later on in that drive, he had a big 20-yard game. Tyreek Hill, the whole game was eating up for him. So if you drop that one pass, I'm not going to say not a word to him because you have the equity of when you make that play with your eyes closed. So it's more of like I'm probably just going to look at you like, hey, make that catch. But a couple plays later, you're making a big play, 20-yard play, 30-yard play. moving downfield, defense have to double you to open up other people. So because of your equity and what you've shown over the course of your career with me, I'm not saying a word to you.
All right. I hear you. And first, let's break down what equity is. We could get some education to the people.
All right, let's get it.
So equity is the quality of being fair. And then like in the business world, it's like the amount of shares that a company gives out. Sweat equity is the value of hard work that you give to a company. And in sports, it usually means you've put in a lot of work, you're respected, and you may get a little extra leeway. And so in this case, in your example, Tyreek Hill, he put in a lot of work. Drew Brees put in a lot of work. Alvin Kamara, they put in a lot of work for the team. So in results, you probably not going to get on their head for making a mistake because that's not how they normally operate.
I will say that Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara is completely different.
Okay, so we're going to stick with the Tyreek Hill.
Stick with Tariq or not.
Because he have equity or whatever, you're not really going to be on his head as much. Well, I say when you have a good culture and a person with sweat equity, when they make a mistake, they understand that no one's bigger than the team. So they are going to want the coach to treat them as everybody else. You get what I'm saying?
I don't agree with you there.
But look, wait, what you don't? All right,
so I'm Tyreek Hill, right? In that situation.
Yeah.
Because of the culture of our team, I don't even have to have a coach look at me wrong or the teammates look. I'm going to know for myself, like, that's a play I should make with my eyes closed. Like,
so he going to hold himself accountable.
Yeah, that's a good culture. People are able to, one, hold themselves accountable, and teammates hold each other accountable before the coach has to hold you accountable.
Okay, so you saying, okay, I agree. So culture is basically the head coach doesn't necessarily have to get on the player because you have a good enough culture to, self accountability as well as teammates. Like, come on, we need you to get this. You got that. Okay, I could live with that. So the culture you gonna build as a head coach is going to be accountability. So as the head coach, you don't necessarily have to do it.
Exactly. But I would say for obviously like the Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce of my team, it will not be so much of me getting on their head as one, they already know that they made a mistake. So it's me, we just more kind of looking at them like, we as a team, we need you to make that play, expect you to make that play, and that's why you're here.
So what if they not to the standard? Like, let's say they still making plays, but like they do something outlandish, like jump off sides, and it affects you on a game-winning drive. Like, because you have a standard, and if a coach, like, if you ain't living up to the standard, you got to take your ass on somewhere else.
Okay.
Like, because that's how my team gonna operate.
It's a very cutthroat way, but yeah, okay.
It's cutthroat, but I mean, a lot of winning programs operate this way, and I just want to win. Yeah. And a lot of other teams maybe have won not doing it that way, but I question how long has it sustained. But what do you think about that? Like, are you ever going to get on Tyreek head, like if he jump off sides on a game-winning drive, or are you just always gonna be?
No, that's a situation where I'm getting on your head because that's a before the snap, the play didn't even start yet, you're making a mistake. If it costs us the game, I'm getting on your head. It's not like if I'm the type of coach to yell and woo-de-woo, then that's what I'm doing. Or if I'm the type of coach to pull you to the side, like, look, man, that really cost us the game. Like, you know that you messed up, the team knows that you messed up, so you got to work extra hard to make it up to your teammates.
Yeah, and then they probably will. But
let's say the player is not a Tyreek Hill. He's just like, he plays a little bit.
No equity,
right? One, he should already feel the pressure from his teammates. That's you know what I'm saying? Of his teammates, I need to. So
All right, let's let's move on to that. So, your favorite team is the Saints.
Yes, sir.
I already told you before the game came on that they was going to lose. I've been like really accurate, especially yesterday with everybody who was going to win and lose.
Correct.
You talking about Saints, they beat them 2 times in the booty boot. Like,
they didn't get it done when it mattered, but.
Exactly. And it's when it mattered. But, during the game, Mike Evans. Well, my question to you is Mike Evans him?
Mike Evans is a very solid receiver. Whenever he plays a good corner though, like a Marshawn Lattimore, especially for some reason, Jalen Ramsey type, he's a non-factor.
He did score on Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, he did. So I think that's one touchdown in the past 2 years, I would say, of Marshawn Lattimore in that matchup. That's one touchdown.
He had 3 targets. I did see Marshawn Lattimore had 1 PBU, and I did see a touchdown. He only had 3 targets.
He had 3 targets, and he had one catch for 3 yards.
All right. Marshawn Lattimore has been getting the best of him in that matchup. I could say that.
Throughout his career, yeah.
But Mike Evans not weak, and I will argue Marshawn Lattimore is weak.
Not when he plays him?
I will argue he is yams.
No, that's outlandish. Have you looked at his resume?
He is, yes.
Since he's been inside the NFL.
Well, have you looked at Mike Evans' resume?
Mike Evans is a solid receiver, like I said.
He is,
but he's not better than a lot of receivers in the league.
Okay.
Not that Marshawn Lattimore is, but if you compare the two at their position,
people can't go. Mike Evans is lethal. He's lethal,
but not against Marshawn Lattimore.
In the first 7 seasons in the NFL, he's recorded over 1,000 yards receiving for the first 7 years.
And I'm happy for him.
I want to tell you this. Guess who record he broke? Guess who held that record?
Whose record?
Randy Moss.
And look, Mike Evans, kudos to you.
14 touchdowns this year.
Mike Evans
ranked 4th on PFF.
Look, you got to realize this though. His
average 15
You got to
yards
realize
per
this
catch.
though. Look, before Tom Brady came, they had no weapons there. So if I'm a quarterback,
wait. Before Tom Brady came, the Bucs didn't have any weapons,
bro. Besides the last year, you got to realize Mike Evans has always been the number 1 target in the Bucs since he stepped in the NFL. If I'm a quarterback, I'm throwing him the ball. Of course, you're having 1,000 yards every single season, but we're not winning games. But you're just padding stats.
He's making plays. That's what I'm saying.
And
He's
I believe you
playmaker.
can make plays, but if I'm a receiver, you throw me the ball 10 times a game, I'm gonna make plays.
15 yards per catch.
Not versus Marshawn Lattimore. That's the argument.
Okay, but let's talk about how yams Marshawn Lattimore.
How was he yams though?
This year in 2020, overall grade 54.
Okay.
Yams. Also, he gave up
a down year.
Huh?
He's having a down year.
46 receptions given up this year. That is tied for 33rd in the NFL.
He's having a down year.
Yams.
So what does this mean if Mike Evans is consistently getting locked up by a yams corner? What does that mean about Mike Evans? If he's so yams.
So do you agree that some people just play good against one individual, because Mike Evans, first of all, he's been hurt all year, and he still has 14 touchdowns. But that's not an excuse.
Past 3 years.
But I'm just saying, Marshawn Lattimore has been locking him up, but he is elite receiver. He's an elite receiver.
He's an elite receiver.
He eats up all the other DBs.
So would he eat up Xavier Howard? Jalen Ramsey? I would even go as far to argue, would he eat up Malcolm Butler? the most targeted corner in the NFL.
14 touchdowns, ranked 4 this year.
I'm happy for him.
Marshawn
So would you say he's a top 5? Will he's a top 5 receiver in the league? Today, right now. Is he a top 5 receiver in the league? Really think about this question. You got Devontae.
Can I give you my top 5?
You got Devontae.
Can I get mine?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Devontae, Diggs.
Yes, sir. Julio Jones, sir.
Julio.
Thank you. Is he better than Antonio Brown? Is Mike Evans better
this year? 14 touch. Oh well, you know what?
He just came in week 8.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
He's not better than Antonio Brown, but go ahead and let me. Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Thank you. Keenan Allen.
Mike Evans.
Keenan Allen?
Amari
Cooper?
Amari Cooper?
No, okay, this year has been a down year for him.
So we talking about this year.
Okay, we talking about this year. I would say he's a top 7 receiver in the league. Top 7, 8, 9, 10.
When you get after 5, it's like they're all argumentative. You can't argue Devontae because Jalen Ramsey you thought was he is him.
I'm about to say he gave up less than 50 yards that game. No, he only had 20 yards receiving that game. Devontae did.
Okay, but if it was one-on-ones, how many? Like, if it was one-on-ones, if they did one-on-one, I mean, one-on-ones is a receiver drill. But could he guard him? Like, if it,
I don't know because look, they had two real reps of them going one-on-one together, two slants. The first slant cooked him. The second slant, he was right there. It was a great throw by Aaron Rodgers right in his stomach, right where it needed to be. So if we ever went 10 reps one-on-ones, we cannot say who was going to win that matchup. We don't know.
One-on-ones is an offensive drill, but
Devontae was running from Jalen the rest of the whole game pretty much. Slot motion.
Devontae Adams does not call the plays.
It doesn't matter. But his
I'm
coach,
a DB. Ramsey hard. Ramsey
but his
the best
coach is
DB
smart enough. His coach is smart enough not to put him in one-on-one. His coach is smart enough not to put him in one-on-one
NFL. I respect
situations with Jalen Ramsey. His coach is smart enough not to let me go at the best corner in the league for every play. Let me like Devontae, you're good, but let's be real.
Marshawn Lattimore is young.
Okay, let's move on.
And there you have it.
Let's move on from this argument because I don't understand if
Give me your top 5 DBs.
Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard. That's the first 2 off the board.
Okay.
Stephon Gilmore is like 5 right now because he had a down year because of the scheme they run. Okay, next, who else is super hard in the league?
That's kind of tough, huh? This year is
It's tough this year. Marlon Humphreys, and you could argue Marcus Peters this year because he was
Marlon Humphreys.
Marcus Peters was playing.
So you're gonna put Marlon?
I'm sorry. Trey White.
Trey White, you could give Trey White that.
Trey White, I'm so sorry.
You could get that.
So that's my top 5 is Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard,
You gonna
Trey
put
White.
Marcus Peters in there?
No. Stephon Gilmore and Marlon
Oh,
Humphreys.
okay.
Marcus Peters was playing though.
I respect
Honorable
it.
mention.
I respect it.
Honorable mention.
I respect it. Well, there you got it. There you got it. First, real debate.
Real debate on the channel.
I feel like I won.
Nah, I don't.
You
Let us know down in the comments.
You can add in the comments or whatever. But appreciate you. Like, subscribe. Deuces.
Later.
Oh, you got it.
Always into something, that's my name. Only out for money, hey, cause that's the game. People always ask me why I'm out for scratch. He who has the most is he who won the match.
Strike 1, me and Nate Dogg is a match. Strike 2, leave them standing still in their track. Strike 3, you could call us 2-1.